to number 6 in our Mobile Monday series. Now, it's hard to believe that it's actually number 6, and sadly the last one in the current season, though of course we will be starting them again after the summer vacations. This particular webinar is all about the all-important task of converting, retaining and engaging tomorrow's alumni. And this is obviously one of the major tasks that universities have, along with educating and helping students to develop as well-rounded people, and potentially encourage them to go on to post-graduation studies. The important thing to remember, of course, is that as part of what the university is doing, we're also looking to establish long-term relationships with the people who join us as students, so that they can eventually, when they get out into the wider world, support the university through alumni donations, through relationships, but also to support the students by providing them with opportunities to engage with people in the real world as well. And this particular webinar is talking about how campusM can help the university throughout the entire student lifestyle, from being a very, very early stage prospect right the way through to being somebody who's committed to supporting the university's aims in every way possible. And of course, we're also going to be looking at how campusM can aid this transformation of applicants into alumni, and we'll be showing you how you can go through that now. So in previous webinars, we talked about the benefits of campusM to students, but now what we're going to do is we're going to change the perspective just a little bit and talk about how we can help the university to achieve some of its particular goals. Now, as you are already aware from our previous webinars, students go through different stages at university, from an open day attendee through prospective students. Hopefully you convert them into an applicant, and then subject to their success and achieving the entry qualifications for your particular institution, they will become a student. And if we're successful and we engage with them, we manage to support them through learning, we make sure that they feel as though they've had a great experience just with life, but also in terms of their academic achievements at universities, and they feel as though they've got value for money and value for the effort that they've put into the 3 or 4 years that they study with you, then hopefully they will become confirmed and committed alumni. So campusM is designed to provide you with a single application platform that will help you to support all of these stages of the student journey. And this is the important thing. We don't expect our customers to have to change the application each time a student goes through a different stage of the journey. It's quite simply a question of presenting them with a different view. So in essence, what we're providing is a holistic point of contact between the university and the students, and something that matures and evolves and changes as the students' needs mature and evolve and change as well. So we start off with the student joining the university potentially as an open day attendee. The version of campusM that they download from the App Store or from Google Play is the same basic platform that they will keep right the way through their entire relationship with the university. You don't need to give them a different application or start serving off of a different platform, because campusM is designed to evolve as the students' requirements evolve. So when they're joining the university initially as an open day attendee, they're going to be full of excitement and interest and have loads of questions, but they're not going to be wanting to see the same information that a first-year student or a postgraduate student or even an alumni will want to see. And campusM allows you to focus on precisely what the student needs to see at every single stage of the journey. So as an open day attendee, they're not necessarily going to want to see the tile to your learning management system. Sure, they'll want to know that you have a learning management system, and they'll want to understand how it can support them, how the virtual learning environment can support them, how you can make it easy for them with campusM to search within the library using integration with, for example, Ex Libris Primo as a discovery tool. But right at that very, very first day that they cross over the threshold of the university, they're far more interested in understanding what the university is going to offer to them, not just in terms of their studies, but also in terms of their living experience, their life, and how things are going to be once they actually come to your institution. So the open day view, or the open day profile that a student has, is something that's completely different to the profile that you would give to somebody in their first week at the university or somebody studying in their first year at the university. And this is one of the flexibilities of campusM. It's a question of saying, where does this student sit within the journey, and then making sure that they're seeing only the information they want. So at the open day part of the journey. We're showing them things like the campus map to help them to orientate themselves around. We're showing them the highlights of the university. We're explaining to them what happens in each particular building, and we're showing them where the sports halls are, where the catering is to be found, where the halls of residence will be, so on and so forth. So the idea here at this particular point is you're trying to get somebody who's interested and excited and wants to join your university, and it's really important. Any marketing person will tell you this. You focus on one goal and one goal only, and this particular goal is to get this particular person to apply to the university. So open days, we support students right the way from the start. We can, for example, give you an in-app registration for open days. So when you get a student who starts looking at your university website and he sees the link to the App Store where he can find the app, or to the Play Store where he can find the application, we can download onto their mobile device a channel through which you can start to build your relationship and start to build your engagement with that particular student. And that begins with allowing them to register from inside the application to take part in an open day. And that becomes the start of their journey through the university, and also the start of their journey with campusM. Naturally, once you have their email information in the application, you can use the email to target them for specific marketing campaigns. But you can also use personalized push notifications inside the application as well. And these can be things like deadlines coming up. You need to have sent your registration application. You need to have sent your grant application in. You need to have registered for accommodation if you're going to be requiring accommodation support, so on and so forth. And these are all the things that help the student and make it easy for the student to make the decision out of all the universities they're potentially going to have a look at through an open day to choose your particular institution as well. And of course, it helps you to establish your brand and identity, because the one thing that we do know very clearly is that when students are trying to decide which university they want to attend, they're not just talking to their teachers or to their parents, they're also talking to their friends, their peers as well, and they will be showing them on the mobile phone or on the tablet, or indeed on the PC, because don't forget, campusM is a portal application as well, so it can be seen through the browser, exactly the things that your particular university has to offer as well. So it helps to promote the brand and identity of your university too. So once you've actually got the student and they've decided that they're going to join the university and they're going to become part of your community, we need to get them through the admissions process. And as I'm sure everybody's well aware, September, October is coming very, very fast, and this turns out to be usually a week, 2 weeks, maybe in some cases 3 weeks of absolute mayhem for admissions officers. But it's during that vital first week, first month, first year that we have to work really, really hard to make sure that we engage with the students and to make sure that we take all of the friction, all of the confusion, all of the difficulty out of their student journey that we possibly can. The first week is particularly important because we're getting young people coming to our university who really have probably never been away from home. They've never had to work and think independently, completely independently on their own. Of course, we throw them into an alien environment where they don't know people, they don't know where things are, they don't know what the processes are, they don't know what the procedures are, and it can be quite difficult for them. Using a campusM mobile application can help to remove that, to ease that admissions process. So we can get the application set up so that a lot of the information that you require from the students is available before they turn up on the first day of university. It can help you to reduce the amount of time that is spent by your admission staff in answering fairly trivial questions, unimportant questions, and free them up so much more time so that they can add value to the admissions process on that first week or that first month. And of course, because we're able to automate, we're able to capture information inside campusM and then feed it back into the student information system, we can reduce workload for the admission staff as well. Not just on the peak admissions day, but as I'll show you later on an ongoing basis, we can keep things nice and simple for them as well. And of course, that helps to improve the relationship with the student. They come in knowing that they're being supported, that the systems are set up in place for them, they're receiving the benefits that they actually need to be receiving. And naturally, for so many of our universities, we're not just dealing with one language, we are often dealing with foreign students that are coming to study as well. And we can provide multi-language support inside campusM as well to help you to make that process much easier for them. Even to the level where we can actually personalize it. So if we know which particular student is using that particular campusM application, and because of the integration with the student information systems at the back end, we can also identify which courses they should be registering on. We can personalise the enrolment offer for them, so they're not having to look through pages and pages of irrelevant information. They're just getting precisely what they need to get at precisely the right time for it. Providing that level of engagement early on helps the university, helps the student to feel much more secure in their relationship with the university as well. So I've mentioned that we can update these student information systems directly from the student's mobile device, and this is exactly one of the benefits of campusM. From the back end, we can pull in information into the application that allows us to personalise the application specifically for that individual student. And in the process of updating that application so the student sees precisely what they need, right the way down to the level of their own personalised timetable, for example, you're helping the students become more engaged. You're taking away a lot of the friction and therefore allowing them more time to be thinking about their studies and their achievements and their success and their attainments as well. And because we have this two-way integration between the information systems and the student mobile devices, the students, of course, can update their own information directly into the student information system as well. And that takes a little bit of burden away from the academic staff and the back staff or back office staff, and also from faculty colleagues too. Of course, the most important thing for any student is that they succeed, that they feel as though they're getting value for money in terms of attaining everything that they possibly could attain, but also that they feel as though they're being completely engaged with the learning process too. And the transition from being a further education student towards being a higher education student can often be quite difficult. And campusM can allow you to improve the retention of the students, to improve their commitment to their courses by providing them with tools that allow them to engage directly into their virtual learning environment, directly into the learning management system, to the level where we can actually create an alert to show them there's a new e-learning assignment, that we can allow them to work from their tablet on a Microsoft Word document and load that back up into the learning management system so that it can be appraised and checked. And we can also allow them to integrate directly with the student record system so they can see exactly how they're progressing through their studies as well. And this ability to create this interaction and support wherever the student is in a media and a format that the students use and engage with all of the time helps to create this feeling within the students that they are being supported, that the university is there to make sure that they're achieving. And that helps them to get through that critical first year where they're learning new ways of studying, new ways of having to develop as academics themselves, and helps them to move towards an increased chance of success. And it has been shown over a number of studies that the more engaged a student feels with the learning support and with the life support inside a university, the greater the chance that they will stay with the university, but also the better their learning outcome is going to become. And one example of how we can do this, and it is only one example because there are a number of integrations we have, is an integration between campusM and Moodle, for example. And this could be with Canvas, to pick another one out of the blue. The flexibility of campusM is that we can integrate with a number of different environments, a number of different applications that exist already within the institution. So the student doesn't have to think about two separate channels. He thinks purely and simply about one. And in this particular case, we can see that campusM is using push notifications to give feedback on an assignment once it's been submitted, and then to take the student directly to the information once that assignment has been assessed and reviewed by their mentor or by their tutor as well. And it has been shown in a couple of universities that engagement increases by more than 5 times with Moodle and with Canvas when a mobile interface is put in place for the students to support them in that, because it creates this kind of immediacy. Students find it very difficult to submit an assignment and have to wait 3 weeks to get the results of the review back to them. Once they have got it, they don't want to have to go and find a PC and log in and pull the information down. They just want to know instantly, click on the button, can I get there, find out what I did, find out how I did, find out what I need to improve for next time. The other thing about retaining students and keeping students engaged in the university is to understand that obviously universities are not simply places for learning and research. They're actually places for living. And it's a place where young people actually start to mature and become well-rounded adults. And this is probably the most important factor when it comes to converting an applicant into an alumni, is because here is where you create the affection and the loyalty and the respect for the institution. And that takes place when the student is actually taking a full and active part in university life. So rather than being single-dimensional people that are sat in the library studying, they also need to be learning how to build relationships. They need to learn how to conduct their own personal life. They need to be engaged with extracurricular activities such as sports or arts or entertainment and so on and so forth. So with campusM, we're able to do these things. We're able to help the university to provide the student with access to multiple services. So naturally, we want them to be using the library. Naturally, we want them to have access to a timetable service so they know where they've got to be and when they've got to be there. And of course, we want to provide them access to a directory of university contacts as well. But it's little things as well that really matter, like laundry. You know, is the laundry machine free? Can I dump my laundry into the machine, go off to the university, and then will it be ready when off to a lecture, and then will it be ready when I finish that lecture and I want to come and pick it up? Right the way through to things like accommodation. If a student's lying in bed and they suddenly notice a damp patch appearing in the ceiling and drips coming down onto where their laptop is stored, they're going to want to get that fixed pretty quickly. So being able to provide link into the concierge services or the maintenance services for accommodation is something that's also important. And these are the things that help people to get through the day-to-day life nice and easily. But we also want to facilitate access to well-being services. The first 6 months of a university life, and probably also the first year of a university life, is enormously stressful for young people. They find it very, very difficult to make those adjustments. And as I'm sure we're all too aware, this is the peak time for students to start to develop emotional problems as well. And having access to well-being services easily and simply through a mobile device, through a tablet, through a web browser, if they happen to be sat in front of the PC, is all important, because it allows the students to instantly and easily engage with the people that can provide them with the counselling and mentoring services that can help them through emotional problems, that can help them with the struggle of becoming independent people. We can help them to deal with any issues they may have about accommodation or finances, and all the things that really do pile in on a young person and contribute and counteract the best intentions of the university to help them to succeed through life. And this includes things like giving them access to sports services so that they know where they can go and join teams, to music societies, art societies, trips out, building up that all-important peer relationships and friendship networks that really matter, right the way through to health services if they need to go and get some cough medicine, or if they're concerned about some other aspect of their health as well. And of course, the other thing to bear in mind is that the students are living within the university, they're living within the community, they want to be part of the community, they want to feel as though they're being consulted and cared about. And within campusM, we have this polling feature which allows the university, for example, to say, we're thinking about closing car park such and such on such and such a day. Is this going to impact you? Press 1 for yes and 2 for no. Or we're thinking about introducing security guards at gate number 3 to provide a better level of security for the university. Is this something that you would appreciate? And to get that kind of interaction helps the students to become part of the community, to become more involved, to build up that loyalty and affection. And of course, the all-important thing to bear in mind is that we can use mobile applications to provide emergency alerts and safety notifications to students as well. And in fact, with campusM and with geolocation, if a student has consented and agreed to it, you can actually even track the location of a student so that you know where they are on a campus at a given time. So if they do get into problems, they can immediately get help if they should actually need it. And this is all about helping them to feel safe, it's helping them to feel secure, and it's helping them to build up their particular sense of well-being inside the institution. But of course, the important thing from an alumni point of view is making sure that once the student has completed their initial period of study, their graduate studies, or maybe even they completed their postgraduate studies. We want to keep the relationship going with them. This is where so many universities actually let things slip. They let them go through their fingers. People leave the university, and then the university tries later on to re-engage with them now that they're an alumni. And as anybody who works in marketing business will tell you, when you have a relationship, you need to keep nurturing, you need to keep building that relationship. What you don't want to do is to allow that relationship just to lie idle without any communications for 6 to 9 months, which many universities will do. And the advantage of campusM is that once somebody has graduated, we quite simply need to change the profile again. I've used that word profile before. One of our earlier Mobile Monday webinars, we looked at precisely how profiles allow you to personalize the experience. So have a look at the recording if you're a little unsure with what I mean for profiles. But what we're able to do now is we're able to change the profile of the user within the campusM application, the same one that they had when they registered for the open day, or they downloaded to register for the open day, the one that's been with them right the way throughout their university career. And now we're able to change it so that they become an engaged alumni. And this allows you to provide specifically the information that is useful to alumni. They may, for example, want to know how their old teachers are doing. They might want to understand how their classmates are getting on. This is an opportunity for you to engage with them by providing a vacancy notification service, because they may want to change jobs and may be looking for new jobs. And other alumni, people who were previously with your university, are absolutely ideal now to be offering jobs to people who are currently with your university or about to graduate and become alumni themselves. And this ability to allow people who were previously part of your university to keep contributing, not just through providing donations, though donations are obviously hugely important, but by providing work experience, by providing job opportunities, by providing mentoring services to current students, by providing feedback and advice and guidance to the university when it's looking at changing courses, for example, that they may be particularly well to qualified to talk about. And this allows you to build this relationship up and keep this relationship going in a very simple and very straightforward way. So it's going to provide you with a channel of communications to people who can help the university in so many ways, not just financial, but also in terms of building up successful life outcomes for your current group of students. And so campusM, it really does help to contribute to the institutional goals. It has been seen that when we engage with students, we actually improve our ability to recruit and convert students, to turn them into successful applicants for your institution. It also reduces overhead and expense from the university, something that everybody is always looking to do, is to try and minimize the amount of expenses involved in administering to student requirements. It improves the student experience, and because it improves the student experience, there's a better chance that you're going to improve the student retention as well. So by providing learning support and educational support, but also providing life support and providing this ongoing interaction, we help to increase and encourage the retention of the loyalty of current and past level students. And because we're able to do that, of course, we're able to increase the revenue, bearing in mind, of course, that the people that we once taught are the people who may one day actually be there responsible for administering grants for research, for example. So that's it. That's a quick and, as promised, very short 20-minute look at how campusM can help with recruiting and converting and engaging tomorrow's alumni. We've got a few minutes left for questions, so we have a Q&A box on the bottom right-hand side. If anybody would like to put some questions in, I'd be more than happy to take those and to answer them now. I see we've got a couple coming through at the moment, so if you give me just a second to read those, I'll start to give you some answers back on that. Okay, so yeah, a question about profiles within campusM. Without going into too much technical detail, because I said there was a webinar that talked about profiles earlier on in the series, and you'll be able to get that from the link that will be embedded in the email that will also contain the link to this particular recording. A profile is a way in which we present information that's relevant to a particular individual student within university. So, for example, a student who is a first-year law student will want to understand purely and simply information that relates to the law faculty. They're not going to be interested in getting information that comes from the science faculty. They may not even be interested in getting information that comes across from sports teams and so on. So campusM allows you to personalize the experience so that a student who is studying law gets information that's related to law. If it turns out, for example, that a lecture has to be moved from lecture theatre number 1 to lecture theatre number 11, and the only people that are going to be affected by that are the law students, then the profiles within campusM ensures that only the law students get that information about the change in the location. Nobody else needs to see it, and vice versa. So profiles are a way of personalizing the perspective or the view of information that students see within campusM. Okay, so integrations to back office systems. campusM has a number of standard integrations that are available, and I use the word standard very carefully because they do require setup and configuration. But for example, we can integrate with Canvas and with Moodle, as I've already mentioned. We can integrate with a number of learning management systems, virtual learning environments, of course, with Primo, with Summon and Leganto to help students to manage their library research and also to manage their reading list more effectively. The fact is that campusM is a very open application. The APIs are all available and published and thoroughly documented. So long as the campus application that you want to integrate with can consume APIs, then you'll be able to integrate with campusM as well. Okay. And one more question which is coming up, which is dealing with the admissions day, or Freshers Week, as some people like to call it. So campusM application, once it's downloaded, depending on how you have it set up and how you have it configured and the integrations you have in place, a lot of the admissions process can be done before the student actually arrives at the university, and then it's just a question of going through the formalities for that particular student. So you can, for example, get them to sign up for their accommodation, and you need to send them the message back, the information about where their accommodation is located, where they can pick the keys up from. You can send the reminders about having to put their deposits in place, make sure that their standing orders or direct debit mandates for paying the rent and what have you are all put in place as well. So that side of it can be set up very, very simply within campusM. In fact, we do know that this is a period of time which is particularly hectic for the university itself, not just the admission staff, but also the people that are going to be responsible for teaching and supporting the students. And it's also a particularly hectic time for the students as well. So we are actually able to offer you a fast start package for campusM. So if you are looking at September with a little bit of trepidation and you're thinking about buying campusM, now would actually be a good time to make contact with your account manager, because we are able to offer a pre-configured, if you like, bundle of campusM with a number of integrations and services that will be ready for us to start to deploy, so that it's available for you for the 1st of September, and hopefully take a little bit of that sting out of the tail. But do talk to your account manager, or alternatively drop me an email afterwards, and we'll make sure that you get some more information on that as well. Just 2 more minutes left before our half an hour is up, so let me just check and see if we've got any more questions that have come through. Yes, so a question about integration with the sign-on systems in the university. So yeah, campusM is designed so that it can deal with Active Directory and LDAP, which means that you're able to create a user inside your university's normal security sign-on systems, and then campusM will integrate with those, so that a sign-on within campusM would also count as a single sign-on within your LDAP or within your Active Directory services as well. I think that's it. I think that's the last of the questions that we have. So I'd like to thank you for taking part in this webinar. The recording will be sent out in approximately a week's time, and With that will also be links to the previous 5 recordings in this series as well. If anybody should happen to have any questions, then do please feel free to drop me an email. My name is Ivor Morgan. It's ivor.morgan, M-O-R-G-A-N, at exlibrisgroup.com, or feel free to contact your Exlibris account manager. Thank you very much, and I wish you a great finish to April.